What's going on, guys? Your boy Amazing. We're back with another video, and in today's video, guys, me doing part 2 of the account review series right here, guys. This is going to be the mid-game account. If you guys haven't seen the early game account already, definitely make sure to check that out, and the upcoming end game account will be tomorrow as well, guys. So if you guys enjoy videos like this, man, definitely make sure to like and subscribe. Your boy Amazing is on the road to that 50,000 subscribers, and so far, guys, we're already at that 41,900, closing in on that 42k. So yeah, man, if you guys don't know what this series is about, pretty much what we're going to be doing in this series, guys, is going over these 4 categories for a different level of an account. We had the early game account. Now in this video, we're going to be doing the mid game, and then in the end game account, we're going to be going over all the important things with that. And so as you guys can see on the screen right here, man, we're going to be going over the box CC improvements here, inventory improvements, PvP team recommendations, and demonic beast battle team recommendations for my boy Lelouch here. So let's actually hop in and let's see what his account's all about. Alright, guys, so hopping into Lelouch's box here, let's see what he has going on. He has a 4.7 million box here, and he has a lot of really good characters in his account. He has Transcendent Bond, Demon King, Ultimate Escanor, the brand new Meliodas, and he has 3 LRs as well. Only missing LR Escanor. Now, if we scroll through his account here, is there anything notable that we can kind of talk about here? He does have Green Escanor, so you can make LR Escanor. And yeah, I mean, other than that, he is leveling up his characters. I do see that he has the Simon level 50. But yeah, no, a lot of level 1 characters. A lot of level 1 characters. So what I would definitely recommend as the first thing, Lelouch, is just like the early game account. It looks like you guys have kind of the same issue, that you still have characters to level up. But my recommendation is, at the very least, get all your characters to level 40, level 50, and then level 60 for UR, right? You always want to make sure you do that, because the amount of CC that you're going to gain for leveling up a character is pretty substantial. I mean, if we look at like the registered CC here, if we actually level up this Marmoset right here, guys, look at the amount of HP we actually gain just for leveling it up and using one 5-star enhanced potion, right? One 5-star enhanced potion gets this guy to 1,000 attack, 600 defense, and 14,000 HP. So Lelouch right here could easily increase his box just by leveling up his characters. He doesn't even need to UR them yet, right? But that is something that I would recommend, though. Like, start going through all your characters. It looks like what you're doing, though, is you're going one by one. I can kind of see that, because you do have a few other characters that are SSR already as well. And I see that it looks like you're going to be doing Liz next, so I do get that, but definitely start working on it, you know, Lelouch. Like, that's going to be pretty important. I do like that you have a bunch of characters all leveled up, and for at least all your URs, at least for the most part, you do have them Awakening Starred, which is pretty good. There are some of them that aren't Awakening Starred as well, but like, you pretty much for the most part have a lot of your characters Awakening Starred and leveled up, so that's pretty good. So my main recommendation that we can do with a mid-game account is actually working on gear. I mean, we talked about it in the first video with the early game account, and what I told Juvino to actually improve with his. For Lelouch here, it's kind of the same thing with the leveling of characters, but now let's kind of talk about gear, you know, because gear could be a big increase in box CC for this character, for this person's account, considering the amount of units he actually has in his account. He's not missing a lot of units, guys. Look at that. Like, it's only like another like 5 rows of like a bunch of characters, right? Without that, I mean, he has the rest of the game, which is really good. So my recommendation is, when you have a ton of characters in your box and you haven't really like increased your box CC by a substantial amount, what you can actually do is by slotting in HP defense gear. And what that's going to do is it's going to give you a pretty big amount of box CC, and you also have these ultimate gears as well. You know, Lelouch, you will have these ultimate gears that you should be using, man. You got these from Ultimate Escanor's event almost 2 years ago now, and you definitely want to be using this, right? You got these Ultimate Escanor equipment here from the event about a year ago now, and you definitely want to take advantage of these. I mean, these are free gear, but with full rolls, right? Like, that's going to be really easy box CC. And for any of you guys that have missed out on this gear as well, you want to make sure that you, if you have it in your box, definitely to use it, right? I mean, look at this gear right here. He's opened it, but he hasn't even equipped it. So we're going to actually equip this full set of HP right here and just give him a ton of box CC. This is going to be one of the ways you can actually go about it. And he has a bunch of defense pieces as well. He did do this, which is good. So it looks like he will have all this sorted out. Just like that, guys. Boom, we get another, what is that? That was like about 30k CC, right? That was pretty good. So you can get a ton of CC just by gearing your account, you know. And if you have those like boxes, I think Lelouch already used all of them, but if you have those boxes that let you get the gear, this is the ultimate gear that came with the Ultimate Escanor celebration, but if you have gear like that, you can actually use that too, you know, and that's going to be a really good way to increase your box CC, and just a way that doesn't really require even leveling and stuff too. It just requires like applying the gear on your characters, and you're gonna get a ton of box CC. Like, I could probably just like gear a bunch of his characters right here, and we're gonna increase his box CC by a ton here. Let's actually go through a few of his characters. So let's just start giving gear to everybody, and then that's gonna be a pretty substantial amount of CC we're gonna gain. Let's see if we can get him to the 4.8 million. That'd be great. You know, if we're able to do that, then I think this is already like a W so far on the box CC department. But yeah, no, if you guys have gear like this, definitely make sure to use it, guys. Look at that. Full HP defense gear. Boom. Now look at that. Oh no, wait, it was about 10k CC. Okay. So it's about 15k CC right there. So another character we give this HP defense to, he actually should get to that threshold. Look, he already added some HP here, which is kind of messed up a little bit actually, because some of this gear is not really right. You want to make sure that you have the 4 set HP and the 4 set and the 2 set defense, I mean, right? So you always want to make sure that your gear is looking like that. So let's actually put on this gear right here, and that should get us a substantial amount of CC, if not the full amount, because you already had some pieces on. It should give a pretty substantial amount. We'll be kind of close to that 4.8 million. So let's see. Yeah, look at that. So another like 8k CC away, guys. So yeah, man, I mean, it's very attainable to get box CC just by gearing your characters. You guys can see how much of a benefit it actually is for gearing your characters with only R gear. Now imagine if you had SSR full 15% gear, guys. Like, that's gonna be an insane amount of CC, because this is 15%, but it's R gear, right? So imagine we had the SSR gear. But I mean, regardless, it's still gonna be a good way to increase your box CC. And another recommendation that I do give, so my recommendations for you, Lelouch, would be to definitely gear your box. And while gearing your box, make sure that you start leveling up your other SRs and Rs. I can see that you're kind of doing it one by one, but what I would do is focus on the Rs, get them all to SR, and then get all the SRs to SSR, right? That's what I would do. One more thing I do want to mention as well, guys, is that as you can see here, Lelouch has a lot of dupes that he hasn't fed, and this is something that I highly recommend a lot of you guys do, is always feed dupes. You know, I'm not going to feed them on his account because I don't want to, like, you know, do it without his consent, but I will say that feeding dupes is going to be very beneficial for your characters, man. When you actually do feed dupes on a character, you gain CC. I mean, you get 400 CC per dupe. And another thing as well is with giving dupes is that it allows you to the point when you have a character 6 out of 6, then you don't have to actually you know, worry about holding on to the extra coins for them. You could just use it on like Super Awakening. You know, that's definitely a thing to go about. So yeah, a lot of characters here that he just hasn't fed dupes on, and I would actually feed the dupes. I mean, with that probably means that you have some festival coins too. And yeah, I mean, yeah, look, he has festival coins and he has every single festival already, so he might as well feed the dupes. There's really no reason to hold on to it. He has 8 festival coins here, guys, and all these characters are not 6 out of 6. So in my recommendation would be just to 6/6 all these characters, especially if you own every festival already, because you're not really, like, you know, going for other dupes on these ones. You just want to make sure you had at least 1 copy of each, and since you already have 1 copy of each, there's really no reason to, you know, not feed the dupes, right? So that's my first recommendation right there. And also part of the box CC improvements right there to increase your CC, and that's going to be another way you want to do it. All right, guys, so that pretty much covers all the things that I wanted to mention with box CC. So pretty much everything from the early game account that I actually mentioned. So, you know, obviously limit breaking, Super Awakening, all that stuff, leveling up your characters. Also, while gearing your characters, that's going to be another thing you can do, right? So another thing is gearing your characters. So there you go, Lelouch. Now let's move on to the inventory improvements here. What can we do for the inventory that will be pretty helpful? You know, the first thing again that I mentioned with the other inventory is maxing your storage. Maxing your storage allows it so that you don't have to worry about getting to a max amount right here, to where you're at 266 out of 270. You can always make sure that you're at the 550 you know, total amount. And in terms of the materials here that Lelouch needs to farm, not really too much actually. I mean, OG Demon, obviously, Belmos a little bit, but other than that, I mean, you have a good chunk of Red Demon, Gray Demon, and Crimson, so that's not too bad. And it looks like you are attempting at the very least your first bit of Demon King, which is pretty good. And you have a lot of SA coins, a lot of anvils, really good stuff right here. So definitely good on that department. And for the enhanced stones, guys, I made, you know, in the last video, I mentioned the exact same thing. If you want to increase your enhanced stone amount, then you definitely want to, you know, start +1ing your gear and then salvaging it. And I made a video already talking about this, and I'll link it in the description for this video as well. But a very, very important thing you want to be doing. So yeah, that pretty much covers the inventory. I mean, nothing too crazy here for the inventory. Other than that, I would say it's pretty good. Another thing here is definitely using the ultimate R equipment. If you have any of these left over in your account, guys, if you're playing back during Ultimate Escanor's event, you might have these gear, and what this is a full 50% piece of gear. As you guys can see, this would be attack. You can make HP gear. You can really make any gear here, and it'll be 15% of the basic stat rolls, which is why it's very important to actually use this gear if you haven't already, and just take advantage of it. I mean, it's box CC, right? And I mentioned it when we were talking about the box CC thing. So there we go right there. That's going to be the inventory right there, and what I would actually improve. Another thing to mention before we go past the inventory part, guys, is definitely the gold. You know, Lelouch, if you want to get gold, feel free to farm gold stage, man. I mean, gold stage is available, always have stamina. You always want to take advantage of this stage when you can. And oh my gosh, you have 353 of those. You need to one day, bro. Lelouch needs to one day just set it on this stage right here and auto farm this, please and thank you. 353 of these is a waste because you could actually get some on the stamina refresh. Never you know, add extra stamina past the cap, because what it does is that it makes it so you'll never get any more in the future when you could be collecting them every single day. So I would actually recommend farming this out if you haven't already, and just getting these all the way to where it's less than, you know, the number 5. And same with your hourglasses, man. You want to start using these if you want to know which, you know, stage to do with your hourglass. I would recommend the anvil stages. You'll get the most amount from it. But it looks like Lelouch here is kind of not really like playing too much of the game, and he kind of just like stockpiles a bunch of materials, which is fair, you know, and it's definitely fair whenever there's a new unit releasing and all that. So yeah, that's fair, but that's another thing that I would recommend. All right, guys, so moving on to the next thing after the box CC and inventory improvements, let's move on to the PvP team recommendation. So let's actually pull up his PvP here, and let's see what teams in PvP he's actually running, and see if I can maybe, you know, increase his potential of winning, right? Because if we can change up the PvP team and get him into the champion 1, maybe if he's already champion 5, that's going to be a really good way to do it. So let's see here. So he actually is a Slime Rimuru. Okay, let's see here what we can actually do. So we go to the PvP right here, and then he's running Sin's team. Okay, I mean, this is a pretty good team. The one thing that I would switch out though is Queen Diane. You know, Queen Diane is not really too good on Sins because she only has 1 attacking card. The reason why 1 attacking card is not too great on a melee team is because you want to be doing a ton of AoE skills. That's the main thing that like melee benefits from, is hitting a bunch of AoEs, because once you triple AoE, you're gonna instantly get his stacks going. And so what I would recommend actually is, let's see if you have the Infinity Merlin. I think you do. Let's see, Infinity Merlin. Yeah, so you have Infinity Merlin. I would actually recommend running Infinity Merlin on the front here, and that's going to be a really good character to run because she will apply debuffs and have the double AoE. I think she'll be perfect for this, and she could definitely help you push into that champion 1, man. For your backline here, I would just slot in whatever high CC backline character you got, right? As long as it's a 7 Deadly Sins character, you'll be fine. So, you know, you could put well, you already have Ultimate Esnor there, but you could put your Diane there if you have more CC with Diane, but it looks like you have more with Ultimate Esnor, so we could keep him in the back. But yeah, no, regardless, just put your high CC 7 Deadly Sins unit in the back, and boom, you're going to be good to go. And this is going to be a very, very strong team in PvP once you get Merlin's Relic, because her Relic is going to give basic stats to the team, which is going to be very, very nice. So this is something that Lelouch that I would definitely work towards doing. Since you're already running melee on your team, you definitely want to get Merlin's Relic alongside him. And because you're running a Sins variant, this will be definitely the best variant, at least for now, that you can run. So that would be my recommendation for the ungeared section. Now, we didn't talk about geared for the early game box, guys, but since it's a mid-game account, I would actually start delving into the side of going into geared PvP. Now, for geared PvP here, it looks like you're running Goddess team, which is fine, but you would either run the same team you're running in your ungeared, or you would run a team like this where you have Goddess team, right? Like, if you have more costumes in your Goddess team, then definitely run this team. If you have more costumes in your Sins team, definitely run the Sins team. And it looks like since you're in Platinum 5 here, you're not really like too high in the ranks, but you could easily get to the, you know, the Masters rank, even maybe the Champion rank. Like, where you're at, it's not too unreasonable to think. So if you actually are playing your PvP Lelouch, you could definitely do it. And with 304k CC natural, that's not bad. With CC food, you would probably get to a pretty good amount here. Let's actually see. Yeah, 335 is not bad. I mean, in the lower ranks of PvP, 335 is going to be able to LTC a lot of people. So yeah, I mean, that's definitely my recommendation. I mean, if this team isn't your best, switch over to your Sins team like I have on your ungeared. But other than that, I mean, this is going to be a fairly good PvP team. Alright, so now let's actually move out of that and talk about the Demonic Beast Battle team recommendations, guys. So now for Lelouch here, if we go to Demonic Beast, let's see what Demonic Beast he's really struggling with. So let's click on the bird here and see what he's got. So does he have Megelda though? Because it doesn't look like he's running. Oh, he does have Megelda, so why doesn't he build Megelda? That's something that he has to do. You know, we're gonna remove LR Liz here, we're gonna put the blue Megelda on, and boom, you want to make sure you level up Megelda. The rest of these characters on this team are not going to be too great on it, honestly. If I'm making a team here for the bird, I would actually run the new melee, right? I'd run the new melee, I'd run Demon King. I think he's going to be another really good character that can deal damage. And then for this last slot here, you could just put Queen Diane, you know, another character just to work with the team. You have Sins, right? Either Sins or Demons, right? So Demon King, Queen Diane, melee benefits from having those characters. Megelda gives the all stats. This is going to be a really good team. So I would recommend definitely building Megelda right there, as she's going to be super beneficial for the team. And don't run Red Tarmiel Link on Diane. I highly advise away from it, because when you run Red Tarmiel Link on Diane and you stance up on that second phase, it's actually going to make it so the bird gets block affected and you won't be able to do it. So definitely don't run red Tarmiel and run blue Tarmiel Lelouch. But yeah, I mean, that's going to be a really good team right there. Now, moving on to the deer, let's see what team you got for this. I mean, this is okay. This is definitely okay. I mean, you could definitely switch the team a little bit. I would say LR Liz is not really necessary because you don't really need that extra basic stats. You kind of just want another damaging character. So maybe we could sub in another green character here because he already has a red and a blue that are very hard hitting characters. So maybe what we could do is we can find a green here. So let's actually filter to green and we'll see if we got any options here. You know, Brunhild's not a bad option, actually. Brunhild's not bad because she's going to be able to deal a ton of damage as well, and she'll work with Freyr if you get Freyr's Relic. If you get Freyr's Relic, he will be buffing the team because he's going to be buffing the Ragnarok characters on the team, which is going to be Jormungand and Brunhild too, and also unknown characters, which Jormungand fits that slot too. So even if she wasn't a Ragnarok, she would still benefit from Freyr. And Melly's kind of just here, so I mean, you could run Melly still, but if you want a character that will boost your team like a substantial amount, you could actually run maybe like Nanashi with his Holy Relic. Because if you have his Relic, remember, he's getting 30% unknown basic stats, which means Jormungand gets 30% basic, you know, Freyr gets 30% basic, you know, Brunhild wouldn't get it, but that's still substantial for those 3 characters that would have it, right? So that's another recommendation I could give, but this is still a very solid team and can definitely do it. And I mean, LR Liz in this slot too is still not bad. It's just, remember, you want to have another damage dealing character. So my recommendation is, even though you have LR Liz here, I would definitely swap her out for another, you know, damage dealing character. Maybe another green, right? Because Jormungand is not going to be doing too much. Alright, now moving on to the Skull and Hottie here. Let's see what team we got going on here, Lelouch. So it looks like you don't really have too much going on. Let's see if you have Thonar here. You do have Thonar, so that's definitely really good. You can run her. Alongside that, you want to run Freyr, right? Because you have an Ignite block. I saw that you had Melasila on there, but Freyr is going to be the better character, unfortunately, for Melasila, because he's able to deal a ton of damage while blocking the Ignites. Now, for the rest of your team here, you could run Demon King Melly, and you can run the Demon King. Boom. That's a very easy team to slop in, right? Because the Demon King is going to buff Melly. Melly's going to get a ton of damage right there. Thonar is going to give him the attack related. Freyr is going to give him the all stats. It just all works out very well. So this is another team that you can run. Even if you don't run, like, let's say you take out the Demon King, maybe you could run LR Liz, right? Like, if you really are struggling with healing, then LR Liz is going to be another good character too. But in general, guys, you should be pretty good. And for Lelouch here, I definitely would recommend this variant of the team. I think this is going to be very strong. Moving on to the Nidhogg Demonic Beast here, guys. It looks like Lelouch does have kind of a basis of a team going here. Now, once you actually get Freya and her Relic, I would actually recommend running her. Yeah, so you don't have a Relic yet, but Lelouch, once you do get Freya's Relic, then you can drop Tarmiel and put the Tarmiel link on Elizabeth. Remember that Elizabeth should be the lowest HP if she's running Tarmiel link, but because you have Tarmiel on your team, you want him to be the lowest HP so he gets targeted. And with this setup right here, you could easily beat floors 1 and 2 every single week, which will get you at least the 3 you need, and then plus the 1 you get here, so you get, what is that, 4 a week, plus the 1 from the World Tree, you can get 5 a week. So technically, in 3 weeks, you could actually get Freya's Relic just by doing that, and that's definitely attainable. I mean, with this team, you could do at least the floors 1 and 2 because you have LR Liz. So that's my main recommendation right there for you, Lelouch, but that covers your Demonic Beast battle teams as well, and that's going to be it for the account review right there. And Lelouch, I do hope that you did enjoy this video as well. So for anyone that's wondering, we will be doing more of these account review series in the future. So if you guys are interested in trying to be a part of this thing, make sure you join the Discord. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, because those are where I'm going to be able to keep you guys updated with whenever I do these in the future. So I hope you guys do enjoy the video. That's going to be it, and I'm going to see you guys in the next one, man. Peace out, and have a great rest of your day, guys. See you later, man.